Okay, so this is good news and a little bit of annoying news. Before we get into today's video, I do want to let you guys know that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance in hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all are having a wonderful week. We are halfway through it. It is Wednesday. Now, I had a totally different video going up for you guys today until we got this new news, you guys. Bryan Kohberger has been indicted by a grand jury, and this is big news. So I'm going to tell you guys all about this to the best of my very unprofessional ability. I'm going to tell you guys why I think this could have happened. We're going to talk about some of the evidence that we now know that the state's attorney has and what is probably going to happen or could happen going forward. Before we get into it though, I did want to let y'all know there was a highly requested video that you guys were requesting for me to do, and I had it up and ready to go up for you guys last week. I could not get it approved by YouTube, so it is over on my Patreon under the $2 tier. If you guys don't know, I do have a Patreon. Over there we do things more, we have more personal story times and we go live over there. But the $2 tier over there is for all the true crime stuff that cannot go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies. Although I edited that video, I was, still couldn't get it approved. But if you guys want more TC content from me, it's over there and it's linked down in the description box along with my second YouTube channel and my Facebook, my Instagram, and my Snapchat. Those are all down in the description box if you want to come and check me out. So, okay, Bryan Kohberger. I was shocked when I seen this morning, and not shocked because I didn't think it was a good idea to happen, but because it just kind of came out of nowhere. We're all expecting the preliminary hearing to happen next month in June, and the evidence is going to come out. We're gonna find out a lot more information, and all of us that's been invested is like, we want to know, and the victims' families. I mean, the gag order has been set in a way that the victims' families don't even know what all is going on, and some of them have been fighting to lift the gag order as well, and they were looking forward to finding out what all the state had against Bryan Kohberger in order to charge him and make sure he is the right person and that he will never see the light of day again. However, that's not going to happen now because he has been indicted by a grand jury. So the way that I understand it, and just to remind y'all, I'm not a professional. Okay, go do your own research, form your own opinion. I'm filtering everything through my own understanding and words in very layman's terms. But the state's attorney ended up going to a grand jury, and it's a secret grand jury. So the only person that is allowed in the courtroom is the jury, and I think it's like 16 people, civilians, up until like 20-something people. And the state's attorney goes in by himself, and he presents all of the evidence and witnesses, if need be, to the grand jury to have the grand jury decide, yes, there is enough evidence here to charge Bryan and for him to possibly be the guy, or no, there's not enough evidence. Now, what does that solve? Well, there won't be a preliminary hearing. So in June, they were going to have a preliminary hearing where the state's attorney would call their witnesses and their evidence, and the defense would call their witnesses and evidence, and then they would decide if they're going to move forward. Now that part's going to be skipped. They're going to move forward regardless. So as of me filming this video, supposedly as of now, this next Monday that's coming up, Bryan Kohberger is going to be in court and he's going to get a trial date. There's not going to be no mini trial, no preliminary hearing. He's going straight to trial now. That is a good thing, especially for Bethany. Remember, in the last video that I did, if you guys haven't seen it, I'll put a card up here somewhere, whichever side that it's on. But Bryan Kohberger's defense team was fighting to have Bethany sent back to Idaho to be at that preliminary hearing. She didn't want to go. Multiple reasons, but she probably didn't want to go and have to face Bryan. She's probably traumatized. I mean, you can only imagine. And then for her to have to travel back to go to this like little mini hearing when she's most likely definitely going to have to be in the real trial, it was just too much. So now she don't have to do that, and neither does Dylan. So the two surviving roommates will only testify one time or in one trial, and that'll be at Bryan's trial. If this goes to trial, but just stay with me here. Now, I don't know if the prosecution did that in order to protect them, to save that process, to keep, Bryan Kohberger's defense team from trying to get it thrown out. Because remember, you guys, the last video that I did, y'all please go and watch it. That's when stuff was coming out about the surviving roommate, Bethany. And that's when Bryan Kohberger's attorneys were saying that Bethany had exculpatory information that could allegedly clear Bryan of all charges. I mean, that's a big, tall statement. The only thing I can think of, you guys, is that Bethany knew Bryan some way, somehow. Did she invite him over at one point? We know he was up in the DMs of at least one of the victims. There's got to be some sort of link. It doesn't have to be a serious link because it's college. This is a college house. None of y'all were ever at college age, right? You got your friends is bringing their friends over. Everybody's partying, drinking, and all of that stuff. I know some of y'all didn't live that life, but for us that did, we're going to let y'all know that's exactly what happens, right? You got all kind of people now, so you don't know they're drinking a party and not thinking about anything. So Bryan could have been up in that house, or he could be saying that he was. And maybe Bethany has said something, I don't know, but she said something that the defense was allegedly going to try to use to get the case thrown out. And the state's attorney said no, went straight to the grand jury, locked it in, and he's going to trial or he's going to plead out. They have not said if there's some sort of plea deal with him or, but I would have to believe, I don't know, but I would have to believe that there's no plea deal on the table. I don't know what all the victims' families feel, but what I do think is Kaylee's family, they don't want no plea deal. Okay, they want it to run all the way to the chair, if you know what I mean, or the firing squad.
For me, it's going to look a lot like an end. I mean, justice doesn't have a room where you can read books and you can go to school and you can have 3 meals and you can have your vegan diet. To me, that's not justice. Justice is when you leave the planet.
Okay, they don't look like they want to cut no deals. So I don't even know if that would be on the table. But then again, Bryan could later pull the same thing that Aiden Fucci pulled. Remember, they were getting ready to go to trial, and it was all the way until the trial day when Aiden goes up and he went ahead and pled guilty looking for mercy. Because this is a penalty case. They are going after the death penalty, and I just don't see the state's attorney going for anything less. Now, the prosecution, this guy right here, who I think is adorable, y'all. From the moment that they arrested Bryan Kohberger and he went up and spoke, I thought he just looks so sweet. He looks like a pawpaw that rides motorcycles. Don't he just look like that type? He looks so precious, but he is not playing. He is here to defend his town and the law, and he is working overtime, and I just have a lot of respect for him. Now, let's talk about some of the evidence that the state, the prosecution, presented at this grand jury hearing. And y'all, I know there's some of y'all out there that still think Bryan Kohberger is innocent, and he is innocent until proven guilty, okay? He needs to have a fair trial, his fair day in trial. But I'm here to tell y'all right now, this is crazy, everything that they got. The prosecution handed over for evidence 10,000 photos. 10,000 photos. 9,000 tips. Now, this is all evidence against Bryan Kohberger. 9,000 tips. And 51 terabytes of audio evidence, video evidence. I'm not sure if it's testimony. Do you guys know how much that is? Some of y'all may have phones that have like 250 gigabytes on it. We're talking about 51 terabytes. That is a lot. I paid extra for my laptop to have 1 terabyte of storage. 1. And I got all kind of videos and everything. 51. Now, y'all, it is innocent. And we're not even going to talk about the DNA again because we've already talked about that. Like, what are the odds? Okay, and what are the odds, the whole situation with the car just happened to be caught on camera around that time. They've got Bryan Kohberger coming to that house or around that house 12 times before the actual crime happened. 12 times, and all 12 of those times were allegedly very, very, very late at night or early, early in the morning. Now, maybe he was there partying with Bethany or one of the other ones, and if they did invite him in as a friend, maybe with other friends, I hope they don't feel bad. They couldn't have known. I wouldn't think. I wouldn't think that they would have known. But let's just keep going. So 10,000 photos. So for anybody that's still, we're thinking, okay, he could be innocent. So let me tell y'all how I think about like this evidence as far as like the 10,000 photos, okay? Put y'all self in this position. What if there is a bank that is robbed in your town? Okay, you're at work, you're at home, you're cooking dinner with your family, whatever. Okay, a bank is robbed, somebody goes in and robs the bank. You're not thinking anything of it. 2 weeks later, a month later, the police come to your door, bust down your door, and arrest you for robbing the bank. You know you didn't do it. What are the odds that the prosecution is going to come into the court and present 10,000 photos of evidence that you robbed that bank and you were at home washing dishes? 10,000 photos? I mean, I don't know. That seems like a lot of evidence. This is going to be wild. But I do want to throw it out here too. No matter, even if the grand jury indicted him, all the defense has to do is create reasonable doubt. They do not have to prove that Bryan is innocent or he didn't do it. They just have to provide enough doubt that a jury cannot say 100% in my heart he did it. That's all they got to do. So there's 2 cases that now I think about when I think about situations like this. It's always Casey Anthony. That is one that has scarred a lot of us for life because most of us believed with everything in us, hello, and it didn't go that way. But then now we have the Alec Murdaugh trial to go on. Because in my opinion, the state's attorney did not prove without a reasonable doubt that Alec is the one that pulled the trigger when it came to his wife and son. And he still got found guilty. Now, nobody was marching in the streets or mad about it because even if you didn't think he did it, most people thought he was involved one way or another. I know I did. And I mean, I feel like even if the story that he was trying to sell is that Alex stole so much stuff that people came back for payback and did that, well, dang it, it's still your fault anyways. I mean, you were just as grimy as anything. So even though a lot of us went, surprised at the verdict, we went, well, justice may have still been served one way or another. But so you just really never know how it's going to go. But I know one thing, the prosecution and this Bryan Kohberger, they are on it, baby. They done got him indicted. It's going to trial unless he pleads out for some reason. I don't see Bryan being one of them people. They got all of this evidence together and they are rocking and rolling and it's about to go down. So we'll find out on Monday what he enters a plea. I'm assuming he's going to enter not guilty. They should start setting dates for the trial and then it moves on from here. So what do you guys think? Do you think that they did this to help out Bethany and Dylan to just kind of save some of these, victims from having to go through this multiple times? Or do you think they were just trying to seal the deal? Or do you think maybe they thought that the defense was going to pull something nasty at the preliminary hearing and they needed to go ahead? I mean, what do you think? What could it be? Or does it even matter? Does it even matter to you? Let me know what you guys think down below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see y'all very soon. And thanks again. Love y'all. Bye.